Hi everybody, this is Angel Arts and welcome to Let's Co-op Divinity Original Sin 2. Now, I feel like this Let's Play in particular needs a little bit of an explanation at the beginning, so please bear with me and my appreciation for your patience ahead of time. This is a sequel to the original co-op Let's Play of the first Divinity Original Sin game that I partnered up with my friend Andrew, also known as Dawnforge Cast. And we had such a great fun playing the two-player version game of Divinity Original Sin 1. Andrew was hosting these videos on his channel, and since we loved the game so much, we definitely were greatly looking forward to also Let's Playing together Divinity Original Sin 2. Now, Divinity Original Sin 2 allows for up to 4 players to co-op, and so we pulled in Hannah and Kevin, who are 2 of the players from my Dragon Age Season 2 tabletop campaign that I hosted on my channel. Those 2 joined us to play Divinity Original Sin 2. A couple notes that I need to tell you up front. So these videos were originally posted on Andrew's channel, but Andrew later decided that he could no longer host the videos for this Let's Play on his channel, so I asked him if I could have permission to post the videos on my channel instead, and Andrew said sure. So you're gonna start seeing probably a big flux of Divinity Original Sin 2 videos popping up on my channel very soon, just to basically move the videos from his channel over to my channel so that you guys can enjoy them if you'd like. The second big note that I want to mention is that we had some issues with the frame rate of the game very early on. That was something that's totally not Andrew's fault, certainly. It was just we were having technical issues, and we kept having technical issues for several of our sessions. And it unfortunately is not something that we could fix after the fact. However, I am going to be recording this Let's Play from where we last left off as of this recording, and hopefully the frame rate issue should be fixed, or should be fine on my end. But I just wanted to let you guys know, because I know that there were some comments about it originally, that the frame rate is going to be a little wonky, at least for the first several videos. But hopefully eventually, like I said, once I start recording the Let's Play, it'll improve at that point. I know I'm partial. Me personally, I don't really watch Let's Plays to actually watch the game itself necessarily, or fully experience the game itself. I personally tend to watch Let's Plays because I want to listen to the commentary and, you know, watch the reactions of the person playing the game. So for me personally, the frame rate issues isn't that big of a deal for my enjoyment of a Let's Play. Your mileage may definitely vary, and I totally get that. But I wanted to give the option of you seeing the complete story, seeing the complete playthrough of the game, as opposed to just only showing the part starting when, you know, I started recording the Let's Play, because I feel like there's a big giant chunk of experience that the 4 of us had that you would miss out if I just decided, oh, the frame rate's terrible, so I'm just not going to post these videos at all. That I didn't want to do that to those of you who were genuinely interested in just, you know, watching these purely for our experiences and our commentaries and stuff. And I think our commentaries are interesting because I think what makes our playthrough of it unique, besides the fact that we do have, you know, 4 players playing the game at once, is that we do actually take the time to stop and role play our characters while we're playing the game. And by that I mean beyond just the written dialogue. Like, our characters actually, you know, converse with each other as if we were in a D&D campaign, and it got to some really interesting conversations, especially like recently, if, you know, without giving too many spoilers, if one of our PCs ends up needing an NPC dead, but another PC needs that same NPC alive, and it got into some really interesting and somewhat intense role playing on our point. So if you enjoy role playing, if you enjoy tabletop gaming, but also enjoy video games, this might be a really interesting series for you to follow. So just to give you guys some thoughts on what to expect. So anyway, thank you guys so much for listening to that introduction. Again, I apologize for the length, but I felt like it was important for me to inform you guys of what to expect from this Let's Play at the very beginning, so you can decide for yourself if this Let's Play is right for you. And without further ado, let's co-op Divinity Original Sin 2. Ooh.
Larian Studios.
Oh, it's so pretty.
Wow.
It all happened like I knew it would. A single drop of source magic. And like flies to honey, the monsters swarmed. The rebel panicked. The carnage began. And the magisters pointed their fingers at me. Just as I'd planned. I was shackled and collared. And sent to Fort Joy. I'd come here to kill Godwoken. But instead, I became part of their story.
It's us.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's so cool.
Prisoners together.
That definitely pulled you in.
To win it.
All right.
I am no prisoner.
Lava is lethal? What a tip.
Shocking. I was gonna walk in it.
Oh.
That doesn't look pleasant.
Oh my. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Huh.
What did they do to me?
What is this thing on my neck?
Let's get our bearings.
All right. Welcome, friends, fellow gamers, to Divinity Original Sin 2. I'm very happy to be playing this. It's a fresh blind playthrough, and I'm exceedingly overjoyed to be joined by three fantastic people. If you tuned into our first Divinity Original Sin, you know it was Hark of Angel Arts, welcoming him back. And since Divinity 2 is 4-player, joining us are Hannah and Kevin, and I am so excited to be doing this. Welcome. So if you have like a brief introduction of you, and then the character you're playing. Oh no, I turned into a barrel. I didn't. C is not character sheet.
This man is secretly Barrel.
That's a neat trick.
So Hark, welcome back. Who will you be playing?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm going to be playing the character Fane. He's just like everybody else. He's one of the built-in characters to the game. Fane is actually an undead, a scholar of sorts, and basically he has somehow been resurrected. I don't think it was by his choice, and now finds himself lost in a world that is completely unrecognizable to him. He seems to strike me as a very arrogant sort, where he sees all of the current citizens of the world to be primitives compared to the greatness of his civilization way back when. So I'm really excited to see how Fane's story unfolds and how he manages to navigate his way in a world that may not necessarily see him as a friendly person because of how he looks. But ability-wise, I built him as a metamorph, which I think is a new class in this game, and a lot of the abilities I'm trying to build with him are going to be more like the rogue of the party. So yeah, that's me.
Absolutely. You can see Fane's stats there. And we are, to reiterate, we're each playing one of the pre-made characters. So it's not necessarily our own design. And we think that's going to be better as far as there's going to be more content available for those characters. But we will still be trying to put our own spin on it. Kevin, welcome.
Yes, thank you for having me. I am playing Beast, who is the dwarf character. His origin is that his cousin, the queen, he didn't take too kindly to the way that she was ruling things, so he tried to tempt a coup. Obviously, seeing where he is now, it was not successful, and he managed to escape. But he was found out by the Queen's forces or something, and they killed all of his allies, and he wound up on the ship, I believe. I've watched the origin story a couple times now, but for some reason I always seem to miss something. But he definitely seems to be a very animated character. He uses his hands a lot when he was at least giving his origin story. I don't know if everyone was like that, but I'm also playing a battle mage, so he'll be up front, but also have a little bit of magical ability. So I'm really excited to see him develop and to see where his story goes.
Fantastic. And Hannah.
Hi. Yes, thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me. It's great. So I am playing Sabine, I think is how you pronounce the name. I've had it pronounced to me a few different ways. And she is the elf origin. And her story is basically she was a slave in a tribe of lizards, which I was very intrigued to find that Andrew was going to be playing a lizard character, so I'm really excited to play off that. And she was forced to, as she was trained to hunt and kill her own kin. She was forced to kill elves. That made her very resentful, a very angry person. And she has a scar on the side of her face that her master used to sing a particular song or something to it, and he used to be able to control her. So she escaped somehow. The origin isn't actually clear on her leaving. So I'm kind of imagining it as her first priority at the time was survival, so she got away, but then it seems like she has a lot of anger and resentment. So now it seems like she was on a mission to find and make her master suffer. That seems to be her mission where the story starts. At some point, by the looks of where we are now, that didn't work, or she's got caught or something. So I'm really, like Kevin, I'm very interested to see where this develops and where this goes. And she's a completely different character to me, so it's going to be a fun challenge, roleplay-wise.
Absolutely. I forgot about my character, so he's not a barrel. I'll be playing the red. Well, at least for the moment.
He's also the metamorph.
You're all metamorphs, and you can all change into barrels. That's the only thing you can change into, though.
Very oddly specific power we'll have.
I'll be taking on the Red Prince. He is a lizard, one of the races in the game. And the Red Prince specifically was well known for his prowess in battle and cunning strategies, and his just general skill in warfare. And it doesn't say specifically, but he ends up cavorting with demons. cavorting is the extent of how it's described. So I'm going to figure what that was out. But because of that, it tarnished his reputation among his people, and he left his society to go and amend, repair his reputation, or kind of, prove to people that no, that's not really the thing. Though clearly he's gotten himself in a negative predicament here. I went in the direction I wanted to go, basically the opposite of what we did in Divinity. We had no one who'd used bows, and I was full melee guy. So I took a step back and used the kind of ranger guidelines. Took ranged fighting as well as the huntsman. And I can't click on those. Okay, well, something's not... Oh, it's got the tutorial window open still. He's going to be the persuader. We'll see his talking abilities, and went with the elemental ranger. So those beginner menus, it will take me. I was already ASD to a WASDing, and it's kind of doing something.
I didn't state also I'm playing a conjurer. Sorry, I didn't mention my
Yes,
class.
you're right.
My apologies.
So we are going to start playing. I mean, it looks like we have dialogue we can have with each other, stuff to loot, someone up there to talk with.
Yeah, someone's talking to me right now. I don't know. I guess it's not paused for you guys because someone's talking to me at the moment.
Yeah, I joined it, so I'm listening in.
Okay.
You're listening in. Okay, because
Yeah.
is she talking to all of you? Because right now somebody's talking. The skull is
No.
talking to me.
They're speaking specifically to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't know if. Okay. Just let me know when you want me to continue my dialogue. I guess.
So grinning skull, is that what you see?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's right now. He's talking to me. I'm not sure if he's talking to the rest of you as well.
It seems like, just from context, that I'm not even sure if this is a conversation that we're supposed to see as happening. It looks like a private conversation.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Hmm.
Well, should I still say what it's saying, or should I hide this from you guys then? But
I can.
Well,
I feel like
I haven't heard it.
I feel like I should read it out loud because it might be interesting to the people viewing. And I'm wondering if the reason why the skull is speaking to me is because I'm undead as well. I'm not sure if that's why.
I think it is like it's I think it's because he's alluding to the fact that you're hiding.
Well, why don't we dive into it? Well, now,
All right.
aren't you a curious sight? If I'd had a mask to hide my bones as well as yours, maybe I'd be still walking around today. Where'd you get it? There can't be many curios like that in the world.
So I have a bunch of options. The last two doesn't make sense for Fane. He could say, tell the skull to mind its own business. You're not here to chat with human detritus, of which I think he is one. Like, Fane is one. So that doesn't make sense. The other one is, look at the skull inquisitively. Is it normal for human remains to talk? Which, again, doesn't make sense because Fane is talking himself. So I'm going to just pick the first one, which is boast. I crafted it myself, using a tool to rip the faces of mortal creatures.
Oh, it's a girl.
You ripped that from them too.
Oh, we can't voice act then.
Such silken tones from a naked skull.
That's the cranium if it's what's happening. Okay, I think it's gonna be fun to make my character super arrogant, possibly even to a fault. So he'll boast, I can make others hear the voice that I want them to hear. I am that powerful.
So powerful that you've been overpowered by clowns in red capes and a glowing necklace.
Ouch. Ouch.
Was
Well,
that?
wow. Well.
Still, you'd best keep that mask on. The living don't take kindly to seeing their future staring back at them.
Ooh.
Ooh. Interesting.
I guess that's the game telling you that if you want to be around people, maybe wear a disguise, I'm guessing.
Yeah, that's a good. I like that. So I've got this interesting helmet, which reminds me of oh gosh, the Dragon Age.
The
You
Elysian
know.
masks?
Yeah, the Dragon Age or Legion masks for some reason. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
I can see that, yeah.
All right. Cool way to start. So if we click on the skull,
Human, no wonder.
is it? Oh, that's me saying that. Oh, okay. Just got to get back in the isometric game style just a little bit more.
Yeah, we've got collars around our necks. I noticed.
Yeah, it makes
That's
us
not good.
source muted. We can't use magic, or
Ooh.
that's what source is. Now, I don't remember the lore of the world quite so in depth. It's been a while, and I guess we didn't explore that part too much. But can anyone give a little bit, like, what is this world, as far as we know, at least it's magic or how that works or anything, if anyone remembers?
Yeah, source is, from what I understand, source is their way of referring to magic, and it's one thing I didn't quite understand in the last game is that there are source hunters, which you played in the first game, and source hunters are supposed to track down and stop people who use source, or
Yeah.
maybe it's specifically source people who use source inappropriately. That might be what it is. So I don't know if source is universally seen as a bad thing. I don't think it's certainly seen as bad as in the Dragon Age lore. But I know that as source hunters, if you happen to run into someone with source, the public opinion seems to look down on them for some reason. That's my understanding.
Yeah, and I think source is I don't think source and magic are mutually exclusive. I think they're two different things. I think you can cast magic, but you're not necessarily casting source. That's
Gotcha.
the point that I've always kind of struggled with. They are different. I'm not exactly sure how they're different, honestly, but yeah, they're not necessarily the same thing.
Gotcha.
And now you're
Okay. Well, here's a question. So I'm looking in the sound settings, and I do see a way that I can turn off the voice. Now, you guys will still hear it if you have yours on, but if we wanted to do our own voices and do the reading, which is, I remember we did that in our playthrough, and I think we liked it a lot, to voice the NPCs ourselves. Would we be... But on the other hand, part of the reason we chose the preset characters was that they might be more fleshed out. What do you guys think?
For me personally, I would like to experience the game, I guess, the way it's intended to be played. So that would be the only main reason why I would like to hear the voice acting, and then we could, when we're doing role playing outside of what's scripted, we can use our voice then. But I mean, ultimately, I'll go with whatever the group collectively decides. I just feel like I do enjoy voice acting, especially since it seems like the people who made this game put a lot of effort and work into hiring good people to voice act these characters. So I'd like to be able to appreciate their investment and contribution to this game. So that's my reasoning.
That's good enough. Okay. So we'll keep it as is. And all right. Well, we got this Magister C1. If I remember, you hold Alt and stuff will show up. It'll highlight what you can interact with and things
You
like
can interact
that.
with, yeah.
Okay, that's really cool.
I guess the game, if we can find a journal, is there something that tells us if we know each other yet?
I know the journal was updated.
I see L, maybe? Yeah, L is journal.
Okay. Do you want to read the story so far then, maybe? That might bring up what's going on.
Okay. All right. So
Oh, there's one for your own character, too.
Right.
Yeah, I just noticed that.
That's
yeah,
cool.
personal character.
Okay.
one.
So I'll go. If you guys see the party menu on the top left, does it go prince, dwarf, elf, skull?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Well, why don't we have that be our initiative order for
Sure.
reading our stuff or those kind of things? So Red Prince. Day 1, 9:45. I, the Red Prince, find myself exiled from my empire. I am being transported to Fort Joy, where sorcerers are incarcerated. I should look for a lizard dreamer on this island, if there is one to be found. My sleep has been plagued by strange dreams, so perhaps a dreamer can help me.
Very nice.
Well acknowledged this
Cool.
tome is. Dallas is
Kevin, I guess.
9:45. They used to call me Marcus Miles. Now I am the beast of the sea. I discovered that Queen Justinia, ruler of the Dwarven kingdoms, and my own cousin, seeks to crush the rising descent by way of a plan called Operation Downfall. I can find out more from a dwarf called Lohar in the village of Driftwood, presuming I escaped the Magus's clutches.
Okay.
Day 1, 9:45. I, Sibyl, journey to the ill-omened island of Fort Joy in search of a lizard dreamer called Stingtail, the one who cut my slave's scar into my cheek. I seek to be rid of it so that I can hunt him down, my former master, without having to fear his enslaving me once more.
Oh, where did I leave my calipers?
Day 1, 9:45. Eons ago, I studied the Veil, a barrier of pure source, hiding something in the universe. Alas, the king forbade my research, took me from my family, and sealed me in a tomb. I woke up when some poor mortal uncovered my place of rest. I do feel quite bad for devouring his source. Alas, I was arrested before I could discover what happened to my wife, daughter, or people, but rumors suggest answers may lie in the Black Pit's oil field on Reaper's Coast.
Awesome. So do you guys also have the Magisters in Chapter 1, the Merryweather?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. And I think, does this say, though he is a sorcerer and wears a source?
Yes.
Yeah.
Bishop. And then, okay.
Yep.
So Chapter 1 will be our story up to this point, I think.
Yeah. I think the character-specific entries actually have our names tacked to the
Yes.
end.
Okay.
There actually is a collar for Fane for me, for
Right.
example.
The
Yeah,
collar
same.
for each of us. Okay.
Yeah.
I suspect it says the same thing, though, for all of us.
Oh, okay.
All right. Why don't I do this narration and then
Yeah.
Kevin do the next one? I'm gonna do my Animal Planet voice. Okay. Day 1, 9:45. Lucian the Divine, champion of the 7 gods, and savior of rebellion, is dead. He sacrificed himself to defeat the sources of the void, leaving his son Alexander to preside over the next chapter of Rebellion's history. But Lucian's sacrifice did not buy peace. Instead, the years that followed were plagued by the menace of Voidwoken. These beasts were drawn to source magic and left death and destruction in their wake. Incapable of wielding the divine powers that his father had at his disposal, Alexander has resorted to harsher measures in order to stop the Voidwoken. A great pogrom has commenced against sorcerers, those who show the most skill in the manipulation of source. Encouraged by his most trusted advisor, Dallas, Alexander has decreed that all sorcerers must be resettled in isolated colonies, where they cannot pose a threat to the rest of Rebellion. One such colony is the ancient island stronghold of Fort Joy. It is to this place that I, a captive sorcerer, am being sent. So we captured sorcerers all.